بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هنكمل دراستنا للالجبريك فراكشنز. النهارده هناخد العمليات الجبريه، الاديشن بلس والماينس، السبتراكشن اوف تو فراكشنز. عايزين نراجع بعض الحاجات من الحساب العادي. افتكر ازاي بنجمع الفراكشنز. say we have 1/7 plus 2/7. this is easy. 3/7. how to get to this? We added the two numerators because we have the same denominator. Like this is to be graphically represented by thinking of pizza. We have, say we have two parts, 2 out of the 8 parts or 8 pieces of the pizza, and here are 3 as well. So plus 3/8, 3/8. So what is the sum of these two shares? One took 2 parts and one take 3 parts. 3 parts of the 8, which is 3/8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, easily to be done like this. So if we have the same denominator, we add the numerators and we put the denominator only once. So we get 5/8. This is easy. The same for subtraction. 3/7 minus 1/7. With, to be sure when we do addition or subtraction, to be sure that we have same denominator or common denominator. Otherwise, we cannot do addition or subtraction of fractions. So we have 3 minus 1/7, which is 2/7. But what happens if we have different denominators? We have to make a common denominator. For example, we have 1/2 plus 1/8. How to do this? So we have 2 and we have 8. How to make a common denominator? How to change the 2 into the 8? We multiply it by 4. So we multiply here by 4. But when we multiply the denominator by 4, we should multiply the numerator by 4 to get the same denominator. Now we have 8 here and 8 here. So we get 4/8, which is the same like this. We didn't change anything, but we put it in the form of common denominator to be able to do the addition or subtraction. Now we get the usual addition and using the common denominator. So this is the thing to check about and to change it and put it in this unified form to do the addition and subtraction. If this was subtraction, it would be 4/8 minus 1/8 to get 3/8, and so on. This revision of arithmetic of fractions from the 4th primary is very essential for doing the same but for algebraic fractions. So this is what we will do with algebraic fractions exactly. So if we have f/x over g/x, this is an algebraic fraction. If you have h/x over g/x, how to add them? Okay, so it's clear that we have the same denominator, same common denominator. So we put it once in the denominator and add what you have in the numerator. If this was subtraction, this would be subtraction and the same. But what is the common domain? The domain, if we call this Rx, the domain of R is the common domain of the two fractions. Which is all of the real line except for z of g, because what's excluded here is the zeros of this g, what's excluded here is the zeros of this g. So it's very easy to add or subtract two fractions if they have the same denominator. Let's have an example. X over x minus 2 plus x minus 1 over x minus 2. So it's clear that this fraction is in the simplest form and this fraction is in the simplest form, because no common factor, no factorization can be done. So, and we have the same denominator, so we put it like this. The domain is, domain equals R, except for what's excluded here,
Negative
0, 2. It's 2, not negative 2, it's 2. Here and here the same point to be excluded. And we write it once in the denominator and add up the numerator, x plus x minus 1. No need for brackets, but we'll do it for more security, because to get the habit of putting brackets, because if this was a subtraction, this should be done within parentheses. So how to finish this problem? To distribute your multiplication and remove your parentheses or brackets and simplify to get x plus x minus 1 over x minus 2, which is 2x minus 1 over x minus 2. This is simplest form, nothing to be done except for writing domain again, or except for 2. This is how we added these two fractions. I'll do it again, but put it in subtraction form to get this important habit of using brackets. X over x minus 2 minus x minus 1 over x minus 2. Same again, this is the most important part, is to have a common denominator to be able to do addition or subtraction. Everything is done, everything is in simplest form, it's ordered, the arrangement is right, so we do this. Numerator, the denominator is common denominator, the subtraction of the numerators in order, x minus what is in here. So we should put it in brackets, otherwise it would be wrong. How to complete this problem? This is x minus x plus 1. This is the effect of this negative sign, is to change the signs of what's inside the bracket, as you learned in first algebra course in your 7th year. This is x minus 2. X minus x cancel to get 1 over x minus 2. And domain is all of R except for the 2. This is what we have here. So the steps of adding or subtracting algebraic fractions is first important thing is to get a common denominator to add or subtract two algebraic fractions. This is our goal. But if we have different denominators, what to do? So remember what we have said here. We multiplied the numerator and denominator by 4 to get the same denominator as here. So we do the same for simple algebraic fractions. Let's have another example. One over x plus x over x minus 2. So here the x is different from this. So we have to get what is the common denominator. It's called least common denominator, least common multiple. Least common denominator is their product, x times x minus 2. So if to change them to the same common denominator is to get here what you have here. So we have to have x minus 2 here, but we don't. So we multiply this by x minus 2. If we multiply down by x minus 2, we have to multiply in the numerator by x minus 2. So let's do it like this. Call this fx or gx or hx, whatever name you like. The important thing is not to mix or not to contradict what the names you have in the problem. So we multiply by x minus 2 here in the denominator and in the numerator. So we didn't change this fraction, but we come closer to what we have here. The same we have here, x minus 2, but there is no x, so we multiply it by x. Multiply here by x, and multiply the numerator by x. So x times x is x squared. The domain of this fraction is r minus except 0. The domain here is r except for 2. So the domain is r except for, so we take the common domain. So this is an important rule of the addition and subtraction of the algebraic fractions. The common domain or the domain of the result is the common domain of these fractions. It's r except for 0 and 2. But we have to put this fraction in simplest form as usual. How to do this? Now we have common denominator here and here. So we write it once and add what we have, x times x minus 2. And add up what we have in the numerator, x minus 2 plus x squared. And simplify this to, or arrange it first, x squared plus x minus 2 over x times x minus 2. If there is a factorization, I will do. If this cannot be factored over the integers, this will be the simplest form. Do you have two numbers with product 2 and subtraction 1?
2 and 1.
2 and 1. That's right you are. So we have fx equals x squared plus x minus 2. I copied it again. X times x minus 2. Don't multiply this. If it is multiplied, I do this the opposite way, is to factor them. So to simplify fractions and algebra, we do factorization. So we have two numbers here, x times x is x squared. Two numbers with product 2 and 1. The middle terms, the means, and the extremes, 2x and x, their difference is 1x, right? As in the middle term. So we put the bigger product with the sign of the middle term. So this is plus 2x minus 1x. That's right. 2x minus 1x is x. This is a correct factorization. X times x minus 2. If this was x plus 2, we could cancel. But this is the simplest form anyway. This is the simplest form. But with this domain. Domain is r exclude 0, 2. So the steps to add and subtract two fractions. What is the method? What is the steps to be done? First, arrange. Arrange the polynomials in the denominator and numerator in descending order according to the powers of x. X squared, x squared, x, the constant number, and so on. Factorize. So number 1, number 2, factorize. numerators in factorize means change them into products. Number 3, common domain. Write down the common domain of fractions. We should write this down even if we are not asked to find. You should write, and we should write the common domain of the fractions to make the addition and subtraction, because this is the domain of the addition and subtraction. Number 4, reduce or simplify fractions. Number 5, unify denominators. unify denominators، وحد المقامات بالعربي، يعني get مقام مشترك. No fractions to be added or subtracted even in the arithmetic in 4th year. 1 over 4 plus 2 over 3. This cannot be done. This is not 1 plus 2 over 3 plus 4. This is wrong. This can only be done if we unify the denominators. We change the 4 and the 3 to a common denominator. Unify denominators. Now we can add and subtract. We put the common denominator once in the resulting fraction and add and subtract the numerator. The last step is to simplify this addition and subtraction. Simplify again. Don't forget to put the domain at the end once more. So this is the method. Once more, arrange, factorize, write down the common domain of the fractions, reduce each fraction into simplest form, unify the denominator. This is the cornerstone of addition and subtraction. دي أهم نقطة في جمع وطرح الكسور في الحساب وفي الجبر، هو common denominator، مقام مشترك. من غير مقام مشترك مفيش جمع وطرح كسور. If we have the common denominator, add and subtract the numerators and write down the denominator. هنكتب المقام مرة واحدة ونكتب add أو subtract النيوميريتورز، نجمعهم ونطرحهم ونبسط تاني ونحلل تاني لو في حاجة فوق، وبعدين نختصر لأبسط صورة. طبعا شكلها بيبقى كبير كده في الخطوات، لكن التنفيذ بيبقى هو جمع وطرح الحساب العادي، نوحد المقامات، نختصر كل كسر الأول لوحده وبعدين ننفذ الكلام ده. تعالوا ناخد تمرين. Let's have an exercise. Example. X plus 4 over x square plus x minus 12, call it hx, minus 1 over x square minus 5x minus 6 plus 6. Okay. Of course, one different sign changed the factorization and changed everything. So, think about the steps. Arrange. This is arranged. This is in order. This is in order. This is in order. So the first step is nothing to do. Nothing to do because it's already arranged. Factorize. Okay. Let's think about the arrangement to find the common denominator and simplify each fraction. There is something to factorize here. Yes, this is trinomial. Think about the trinomial factorization here and here. So why to factor them? To simplify, to find their denominators, to find their domain and common denominator of the two fractions. We have the first fraction this, the second fraction this. So we are looking for two numbers with product 12 and subtraction 1. Are there? 3 and 4. Yes, exactly. X minus 3, x plus 4. I choose 4 plus with 4 to get the bigger product, 4x minus 3x to get the middle term plus 1x. That's right, yes. Here x plus 4 will cancel, right you are, but we will not make the sign of cancellation before we write down the common domain. 1 over, here we are looking for again, once more, two numbers with product 6 and addition here this time, 5, think about 2, 3, right you are, x minus 2, x minus 3, this is correct factorization. Here nothing to simplify here, so this will remain the same. Okay, we will cancel this, but domain first. What domain of h? Domain of this summation is, domain of this function, result function, is the common domain of these two fractions. That's to say, whole of r, كل الأعداد الحقيقية, except for the things to make the denominator 0. This to be excluded. This is the sign of the exclusion in sets. So 3 to be out, negative 4 out, 2 is out, 3 is out. It's written before, so we don't repeat. So now we cancel, therefore hx equals, cancel this bracket with this bracket to get, write it in tidy, clean and tidy form, x minus 3 minus 1 over x minus 2 times x minus 3. This looks fine, but okay. So look, what we are looking for now to do, to perform addition or subtraction, we have to have common denominator. This is similar to this. So we have x minus 3 like this, okay, but we cannot do it now. We have to have the same common denominator, the same denominator.
X minus 2.
So we can change the first fraction. We multiply the first fraction, denominator up and down by x minus 2. This is missing here, so we have to put it. X minus 2 times x minus 3. So we multiply it by x minus 2 here, so we should multiply the numerator by x minus 2. Now we have the same denominator. X minus 2 times x minus 3. Now we write down the denominator, the common denominator, once in the resulting denominator, x minus 2 times x minus 3. And here we subtract the numerators, this one minus this one. So it's x minus 2 minus 1, minus because we have subtraction. What we get here, after unifying the denominator, we have unified the denominator. Now we do the addition or subtraction. It's subtraction. We can simplify this. X minus 2 minus 1, which is x minus 3. Losing 2, losing 1, so it's losing 3. X minus 3 over x minus 2 times x minus 3. So put it in two parentheses. Look, you have the same term here and here. So you can cancel this term now and get, when we cancel, it's 1 because it's division. We divided the numerator and the denominator by the same bracket, x minus 3. We get, if we divide z by z, we get 1. If we divide u by u, we get 1. If we divide any number by itself, we get 1, except for 0, we get undefined quantity. So we have no result to say if it's 0. We have no 0 here because we excluded the things to which make trouble. So we have 1 in the numerator and x minus 2 in the denominator, and this is the simplest form of the answer. But we write again domain equals r, copy the domain once more at the end. This is very important. For this we write it twice. Here before cancellation and simplification, and at the end we put it once more to be sure no one substitute or make x3 or negative 4 or 2 as an input. This is the result of the exercise. So we will make one more video for more exercises on addition and subtraction to practice more and more. This is very important lesson. No exam without addition or subtraction of fractions, factorization, simplification, the domain. These are the language of Unit 2 in algebra. Algebraic fractions, simplify them, what is the common domain, add them, subtract them, and the last lesson will be multiply and divide them. Thank you.